What's up, y'all? Back at it again. Definitely, networking helps with your lifestyle. I think it's essential for a lifestyle, right? Um, your environment, who you connect with, definitely improves your life in many different factors. So, um, networking is critical to upgrading or evolving yourself into a um, better lifestyle for yourself. So I agree 100%. Yeah. Mhm. Right, right. And it's nothing wrong if a person wants to work a 9 to 5 their whole life, then that's them. There's no criticizing that. Um, but if you want to move into a world of entrepreneurship and things of that nature, then you're going to have to put that time in, and that 9 to 5 has to be that stepping stone. And of course, doing a pearl drop back to networking is, hey, yeah, this 9 to 5, I can meet certain people on my 9 to 5 that can help me in other avenues because everybody, is different. They have different specialties and different hidden talents that we know nothing about until you make a conversation. So, one person can help the next person, but you have to be willing to make that initiation, take that first step. Right, right, right. And risk is essential, but like you said, it has to be calculated. If you just taking a risk, most of the times you're gonna lose. Do your research behind it. Make sure you understand something before you start putting your eggs in that basket. Uh, or just build the basket, right? You build your basket with the knowledge and information, then you could put your eggs or slash money, however you want to compare and contrast with that. But yeah, you this all ties back into elevating and becoming somebody better for yourself, becoming the highest version of yourself. Is one is networking. Two, is stepping outside of your comfort zone, and three is definitely taking those risks that you're scared to take. And on the opposite side of that fear is success. So, you know, get rid of the fear. It's easier said than done, but get rid of the fear and see where your life can really take you. Because the biggest thing is now, if I get rid of this fear, who am I able to help now? But if I stayed in my fear, who am I holding back? Not only myself, but who is or who am I holding back in the future? So, mhm. Most definitely, most definitely, you, you got to save yourself. Nobody's gonna do it yourself for you, right? So, with you getting it out the mud yourself, that's part of the trial and error aspect. Go out there, like you said, fear is an illusion. It can hold you down, and it could prevent you from going forward. It could be procrastination, and fear comes in many different multitudes or similitudes. Um, but you have to be able to recognize that and say, oh, this procrastination could be fear, or this not talking to this person could be fear, where I know this can potentially help me. It's something I don't want to do. Laziness could be a fear of becoming a better version of yourself. So, um, I would say the steps into recognizing fear is definitely take inventory of your life and ask yourself, what is really preventing me? Is it money? Is it knowledge? Is it people? You know, you gotta look at those things in your life and say, okay, I gotta make a game plan to strengthen myself. And how are you going to strengthen your resolve? How are you going to strengthen your mindset, your mental, you know, your emotional, right? Because one of the things of fear is failing. You don't want to be known as a failure. You don't want to fail. It's okay to fail. It's okay. But at one point, you going to succeed. You going to keep failing. Okay, at one point, you going to succeed. And the difference between a winner and a loser is a winner just kept on going. They kept trying. They kept persevering. And that's how you have to do it with networking. You letting a note determine your future. You're letting people, your threads or your clothes not letting you into certain environments. You know, you're putting pressure on yourself or unnecessary pressure on yourself. You know, and those things can be fear. fight through it, become better, and that could go through your trauma too. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Hmm. Yep. Yeah. So having that craft time, right? That this is talking about, like the side hustles and stuff of that nature. Um, Having that craft is super important. This is what's going to distinguish you from the rest of the world. right? And when you actually put in time, uh, committed time, right? There's a difference between just letting videos play and or whatever and you taking notes. There's a big difference when you're applying that knowledge that you have taken. Um, though that's what starts to change, and that's when you start really perfecting your craft. When you can actually do tangible things with your craft, right? So for me, I'm a part-time trader. So yes, I've been trading for over 6 years, right? Um, no problem. And I've been trading over 6 years on and off, but I still listen to videos. I still listen to basic videos on the market, supply resistance, trend lines, and different types of candlestick patterns, you know, indicators and stuff like that. Uh, because you'll never be perfect, but as long as you keep practicing at your craft, you're going to get 1% better, and that's the goal. 1% better every day. How can I change my life? 1%. Yeah, you don't ever think you could. I'm not going to say it would never happen, but don't ever think that life is supposed to change like this, right? Things grow and things take time. One of the sayings they have in the market is if it moves fast, it won't last, but if it moves slow, it will grow. And so, um, for instance, the market is now tanking, but it was moving fast. It was moving fast from November to like a week and a half ago. It was just increasing. Now it's decreasing. Crypto, it was skyrocketing. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, which led all the other altcoins to hit highs and things of that nature. Now it's tanking because it moved fast, you know. And so now it's showing you I have to reset so that I can prepare myself for it. And sometimes that's what we do. We move too fast and different risk. We move too fast in different um, ideas and knowledge of life, and we don't take the risk factors or calculate the risk, and we mess ourselves up. But it's a learning lesson at the end of the day because now it's saying, okay, I won't do this no more. Let me control myself in this aspect. So yeah, man. Hey, trading is not for the weak. You must be emotionally disciplined. Emotionally disciplined. If you are not, it will humble. Okay, it's a good time to invest. Yeah, and there's a difference between investing and trading, right? There's a big difference. Um, you can invest in crypto. Like I think ADA right now is at like 60 cent. XRP is at 250. Um, it may be lower now. Um, but you can actually buy shares of that instead of actually trading to see if it's going to go up or down, if it's going to buy or sell, if it's going to be bullish or bearish. You can actually invest, buy some, and just hold it for the long term and let that build. So, um, one, I would consider you investing so that you can actually have a pillar of building yourself, and not only that, diversifying your financial portfolio. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 9 to 5. Yeah. It could be helpful and it could be hurtful. You could get trauma from it as well. And that builds you. I think truly and honestly believe everything that you go through, because life is full of choices that we make, right? We're a product of the choices and the decisions that we make, right? So I honestly believe that everything we do helps us in the long run. Even if it was traumatic, I do believe that helps us to help others, right? Because we're not just put on this earth just to be selfish to ourselves. We're here to help others, right? So, um, traumatic experience. I know you had a traumatic experience on a job. Um, I had a traumatic experience on a job. I actually was out of work for, I want to say about 4 months. Um, because I was at work and I injured myself on my, yeah, right, 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 a different mindset. Uh, that is true. So with that traumatic experience, how did that propel you into your future? How did that help you in knowledge? Hmm. Right, right. And that's another aspect. Like that's another point to be made. But with your traumatic experience, right? I know you said you wanted to come back when you was fully healthy, right? Well, 150% or whatever. But how did that change your mindset? That traumatic experience. Yeah. Mhm. And to be clear, everybody, he was using that as an example. You're right. You're fine. You're fine. No, you're perfectly fine. Just wanted to clear that up. Just, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I understand. Yeah, yeah. So with you having ADHD, right? Um, one can look at that as a setback. One can look at that as something to propel them forward. How do you deal with that? Yeah, yeah. A wise man says nothing at all, but he listens. And then when he does finally talk, everybody pays attention because he rarely talks. And when he does talk, he speaks truth. Yeah. Get out. Well, I think any brother, and I'm talking about men, not black people. I think any brother that looks at life too much on a micro level can be damaging. I think you will have to go from macro to micro, micro to macro. Some things you need to pay special details to. Sometimes you don't need to know the details. You just need to go and do it. Um, Other times you just need to get out your own way, like what you said. Get out your own way, because when you become your own roadblock, it's a different level of stagnant. Um, being stagnant. So, um, I think many people or men, right? You're supposed to have a vision. You're supposed or provisions, right? You're supposed to have things aligned. You may not have it all the way figured out, but you need to have some type of goal. Like this is where I'm aiming for. And if you're always like this and you can't see the big picture, but you're looking at one spot on a canvas, you're it's not being tunnel vision. It, it's kind of being you're not being open minded, right? You're only closed off to that section, so you can't really develop yourself, right? You can't really do. It's like you trying to learn the multiplication table, right? And you're only looking at one, one times one, and that's where you focus at. But you need to step back and say, oh, well, one times two is two, one times three is three, and so forth, right? You got right. Or you looking at a painting, you just looking at one spot instead of looking at the whole painting and say, oh, this is what it is. People need to sometimes take a step back from what they're looking at and say, okay, I understand it now. I can see it now. Okay, this is where I messed up at, because I was so geared and focused on me messing up on this that it had my attention. But once I stepped back, I was able to release some of that trauma, or I was able to release some of that tension or that pressure that I had. And now I can step back and say, oh, okay, I see how I put myself in that predicament. So I will say this to the brothers um, that's watching, and not only that, that gets in their own way. Take a step back. Sometimes a step back may be, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to take some time away. Not too long. I may take an hour away, or however it is for you. Every man is different, right? But take some time to step back and really allocate your resources and your focus and say, okay, how am I progressing? How am I not progressing? What spot has me bogged down? What spot is allowing me to be free? Take a step back. That's what I have to say to people that's focused on one particular aspect. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, everything doesn't have to be bad or good or indifferent. Like, if you're focused on one spot, hopefully you'll become good at that. Right? But also understand the bigger picture that you have going on. Yeah. Hmm. Right. So I believe it depends on what field you're in, right? Um, I understand the thought process of not having another plan. You just keep working until that plan eventually works out. I can I understand it. I said it from different mentors and things of that nature. Stick with plan A because if you have a plan B, you're already thinking plan A is going to fail. You have some type of expectation that plan A is going to fail. So this is your fallback plan. But if you don't have a fallback plan, uh, you're going to be on plans A, tail, and you're just going to strive and make it happen. Beautiful. But some people are not like that. Um, right? I think for the most part, you have to find something that's going to discipline you, right? Sometimes plan A doesn't work because you're not ready for the capacity that it needs. Maybe you don't have the financial capacity, or you don't have the mental, or the emotional. There's some things that you have to go through and weave out that protects you from a bigger upset in the long run, where you could actually say, "I'm not doing no plans. Like I'm done." Um, I honestly believe that yes, keep working at your plan A. Um, if you have a plan B, I'm not going to criticize you. Every man is different. You have to follow your own journey. You have to follow your own path, and I can't tell you what that is. You can tell yourself what that is. However, right? If you tell me this is my plan A and this is my plan B, I'm gonna say, how much research did you do on your plan A? How much research did you do on your plan B? Some people say, hey, I'm gonna do this entrepreneurship, and then if that doesn't work, I'm gonna join the military. And they fail at the entrepreneurship. Had so many no's, or they didn't get the money that they thought they was going to see. And things of that nature, they jump into the military. And now they're like, man, I gotta get back to plan A while being in plan B. Right. It's a fact. I think a lot of people can attest to that. Yeah. Right. Right. Situations definitely play a part on being in a way. Mental plays a part. Uh, Lack of knowledge and understanding plays a part. I think that's the downfall to a lot of people because they can't regulate their emotions, right? I think, especially if you plan on having people work under you, I think you need to learn how to have emotional capacity or bandwidth because there's going to be days where people just get on your nerves and you don't need to go on a blind rage and show a lack of leadership because you can't handle your emotions. You need to understand, hey, they're human, I'm human. They're going through something. Yeah, I'm a little teed off at them. But at the end of the day, let me take a step back. Let me reanalyze and think. Let me have my composure. Especially as a man, you need to be able to keep your emotions in check. Composure, being a stoic. And the only way you're going to get that is through life experiences. No book can tell you this. You have to go through that pain to understand, and so that you could get the wisdom from that. You could get the knowledge from a book, right? Trust and believe. But there's a difference between applying that knowledge and just having that knowledge. And applying that knowledge eventually becomes wisdom because you gain some type of experience, lived experience from it. So you you need emotional composure. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that right there, yeah. And see, that's one of the things of keeping your emotions in line. Because you could have easily said something and got into more trouble, right? Wrath can turn into a lot of different things you don't need in your life. So, yeah. Right? That's a fact. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Not lying, bro. Definitely keep that emotion in check. And to make this all come back together, when you have your emotions in check and you show that discipline, other people become attracted to you. And when other people become attracted to you from that, your network gets bigger. If you can control your discipline or control your emotions with your discipline, and you're not so fast to respond, and you think before you speak, it's it's a way of really leveling up yourself, and another door could be accessed because of your actions. You didn't stoop down to a lower self. So I think all in all these things does play into network. It really does. But at the end of the day, how can you control yourself and make yourself better? Yeah, man. Mm. Well, I would say to this, right? I don't share your predicament at all, your situation at all. I think what you said, though, you're making a mistake. Um, you don't have to become your own father. That's like a mother saying, I have to be mom and dad. No, you're just mom, or you're just dad. You're just AB. The only time you will become a father is if you have kids. I The way that I view things, right? If you feel like you are lacking something, find a father figure if that's the case. Sure, you want the biological father, somebody that's your own flesh and blood. I understand that. But there are so many other men in this world that can provide structure and the things that you need in your life if you network properly. It's no bounds to, hey, for instance, right? We met probably a month ago, no, 2 months, right? We met 2 months ago. And like I said, we had multiple conversations on the phone, right? 3 months ago, we didn't know each other. But I could say from knowing each other, we benefited in some type of way. Either being a listening ear, constructive criticism about anything that would stay between me and you, right? And so when you look at that, you say, okay, that network happened because I was in this specific group chat. But now you're looking at something that's intrinsic to you. I want, I have a longing for a father, my father, right? I have a longing for my father, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. You said it won't. Okay, it won't. But you know what? There's other men who's been married, who has done the things that you have done because there's nothing new under his sun that will help you. You just have to provide a way for yourself to network with them. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but I'm sure if that's really what's on your heart and you still work hard for your plan A, there's going to be people that come in, or it could be through somebody like me, right? A friend that says, hey, you know what? I got somebody I want to let you meet. And that happened just like that. And next thing you know, you talking to them and they become like a father figure to you. So I don't put that unnecessary pressure of putting a title on you that doesn't belong on you. Don't do that. Be yourself. Mm. Yeah, most definitely. You know, mm, yes and no, but I get what you're saying. I get 100% what you're saying. I will say no. Well, if you think like that, your fear is going to come to you, right? There's a there's a difference between talking about something, accepting something, accepting, right? So I don't talk about it. It's a way of like it's like if I don't talk about it, I'll forget about it, and I won't have to think about it in a sense, which is fine if that's your prerogative. I'm a person that's more on the I'm gonna shed light to the situation so that it doesn't have no power on me, and I would move. Okay, sure, I don't have my father with me. Okay, it is what it is, but you know what? Somehow, some way, there's going to be somebody that's going to become a father figure. That's the way my mind works. Hey, okay, prime example, real estate. You got your real estate license, but before you was like, hey, I'm gonna get my real estate license. make sure to get it. And how many times it took you to try to get that real estate? And how much time was that? Years? Months? Like, okay, okay. So with through that, 3 years, through many failed tests, you was able to achieve a real estate license. Now you can do the same thing with a father figure. May not be your dad, may not be your biological father, but you will have a father figure if you had that same intensity that you had for the real estate. Well, I mean, at one point in life, you're going to be able to get over that. And I'm telling you this. Sure, everybody does not need to know your business. You need to have people in your life that you could really tell. You need to have people in your life that you could one, like really trust, right? No matter what you say, they won't go out and tell your business. You need that person. You need somebody that's going to correct you. That's not scared to correct you. That's not going to be a yes man. And number three, you're going to need somebody that's going to hold you accountable. And when you have those three, you'll be able to share your personal life with them and won't feel a type of way because they already know, hey, I know you in this light. You can't lie to me. I know you too well. So what's going on? They're going to be on your butt about that. So that's how I look at it, man. Mm. Okay. That's opening up another can of worms, right? hmm Um, yeah. I would definitely say that for another. Uh, I would definitely say that in the future, maybe have it with another guest, maybe a woman, right, to get their perspective, right. Um, I think. Well, there you go. And hopefully they would be truthful and honest with you. You know, because like I said, I don't have no dog in the fight. This is your life, bro, and you gonna do whatever you want to do. Like, so yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's time. It's time. It's time to wrap up, man. Yeah, most definitely, man. And that's the beauty. All right, man. Peace. No problem. You too.